Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bards of Gaming podcast. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Just wanted to get on here real quick and give a little bit of an intro to say where you could find us. Things really haven't changed that much since the last episode, so you can find us on Instagram right now at The Bards of Gaming, or you can find us on X or Twitter at 2bardsofgaming with the number 2. I am currently working on making a website for this podcast, so hopefully we can get that up and running soon. Maybe we can get some merch going or something. I'd like to be able to offer some stickers or something fun like that. But yeah, that being said, I really hope you enjoy this episode. And if you do enjoy it, please feel free to reach out to me on any of the socials, and I'll be more than happy to respond to you as soon as I possibly can. Try to get to everybody, and I've had some really great feedback so far for the show, and I'd like to keep that going. So if you enjoy it, let me know. If not, well, you can let me know that too, but we'll see what happens. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bards of Gaming podcast, where we do our best to raise the bar and play the games that scale to be hard. We are joined this week with my buddy Fred. How are you little psycho midget?
Oh, Jesus. I have never been more psychotic nor more midgety. And you?
I'm all right.
Fantastic.
I'm not too bad. I'm doing great because I'm actually very excited to talk about this episode.
Great. Are you feeling badass and psycho-y?
A little bit.
Fantastic.
We all have day jobs, so that's inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel on the regular.
Yeah. So this week we're going to be talking about a game that's very special to me, and I've played this game before, and I've played all the games in the series. We're going to be talking Borderlands 1. It is, in my opinion, the what?
Classic.
Oh. Yeah, that's not what I heard.
Oh, what did you hear, Rob?
Nothing.
Okay.
So this game, in my opinion, is the first game in the series that I consider to be the greatest in looter shooters. It's like, I mean, I haven't played Destiny, so I'll be honest, I have not played any of the Destiny games. But I am a huge fan of the Borderlands franchise. So this one being the one that started it all, I'm very excited to talk about this game. What do you think?
I mean, I can agree with that. This is one of those ones where, full disclosure, I suck. Oh, were you waiting for more? I suck at first-person shooters. Absolutely suck at them. They are, the bane of my existence. Everybody was playing COD, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna go play fucking RuneScape or Elder Scrolls. I'm gonna go fucking become a psychotic shouting asshole in Skyrim. But first-person shooter is not my jam. But this game, despite all of that, I still enjoy a lot. So I am definitely with you as far as this being a great game.
To be fair, RuneScape fucking slaps. That's to this day, I still play RuneScape. It's a great game.
I have to bite my tongue, or else this podcast is not going to be about Borderlands.
Oh, okay. We will be probably doing a RuneScape episode one day. I don't want to make any promises, but that might be a thing. So,
fuck yeah.
All right. So to continue with the Borderlands talk, like essentially for anybody who doesn't know what this game is, it is a game that came out, I believe, originally in 2009.
And was specifically made because of Claptrap. It's all about Claptrap. If you never played it, just Claptrap.
It is 100% about Claptrap, which is, he is the main character. I wish you could play as him in this game. He is the main character. Claptrap is amazing. Claptrap for president. That's
2024?
Yeah, I think
2024. What year?
But 2023. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this game is everything. I don't even know where to start. Like it's an action RPG. It's a first person action RPG and action adventure RPG, I guess. But you're set on this planet of Pandora, and basic storyline is that you are you're what's called a vault hunter, and there's this long-standing treasure hunt rumor of this thing called the vault on the planet of Pandora, and
for like thousands of years.
Yeah, and it only gets opened up every 200 years, and everybody's in search of it, and you're essentially this mercenary who's tasked with going to find it. For one reason or another, you'd have to play the game to find the story.
And each one of them psychotic in their own right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the game, I mean, I'm trying to like keep it somewhat spoiler free. The game goes off into so much more than that, especially once you start getting into the later games. There's so much more to it. But the storyline of this game, I will say, is pretty basic. Like, yeah. I've played this game a couple times before, so like I didn't bother to really listen to the story. In fact, I'll be honest with you, the whole time I was playing this game, I was watching Sword Art Online, so I wasn't really listening to any of the story.
I can't blame you. Sword Art's an amazing anime.
I would pause it every now and again to listen to some of the dialogue from like a side quest, but the majority of like the main story, I just blasted through. I didn't even bother listening to it. But I already know it. It's and it's so basic. Like it's not a long game.
No, all things considered. I mean, it has substance, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You're right. It is a shorter game compared to Skyrim, for instance, or compared to like a lot of modern games. Like it definitely is shorter. But man, they pack so much into that. Like just little bit of time. Like it's the amount of side quests that you've got that you don't necessarily have to, but you definitely want to, to grind.
Yeah.
Like there's so much content that's there. And then on top of that, they add the DLCs. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to shut my mouth because we're going to do a whole section on the
we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as per, tradition, one thing I like to do at the beginning of every episode is talk about how did we find the game at first? Like what was your introduction to this game? Do you remember like the first time you played it?
This had to be, I think I told you about Blade, my buddy from online. Yeah. So, my buddy Blade, that's his Steam name, but his actual name's Sven. If anybody wants to look him up and, try and do questionable things, because this is the internet and that's what you do. So he was like, yo, man, I just found this great game, Borderlands, and it's like 4-person co-op and I want somebody to play with. And I'm like, okay, I love you, Sven. Let's do this. So we went through and I quickly realized, fuck, I hate first-person shooters. What am I doing to myself? And that kind of really tested our friendship. It was one of those things where I think it actually grew the friendship.
It's like you went to war together.
He's just scarred from me for like the rest of his life or something like that.
Just cursing and screaming his name to get you playing this game.
Exactly. That's really what it is. Because every time I came up against one of those fucking badass brutes or like the fucking racks or something like that, I just
Well, especially if you're using a shotgun, but we'll get to that later.
Don't you start.
We'll get there. But, I mean, I guess as for me, like when I first played the game, it was, I want to say maybe like 2012, 2013. So it was a few years after the game had been out. I was in high school. And when I first played it, I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I played the first maybe hour or so, but I was solo. And I mean, at the time, it was kind of a new style of game. It was, it's very new to me because I also grew up a Nintendo kid. I didn't get an Xbox or anything until I was in middle school. So, my first experience with like first person shooters really were like Call of Duty and all that, Halo especially. But like when it came to games like this, like there was nothing in my, catalog that really existed like this. So I was having a hard time getting into it and getting used to it. And it was so different. And I really didn't understand the game at all. And it wasn't until, like I said, I was in the later years of high school, and a friend of mine, we were talking about video games, and he was like, "Yeah, Borderlands is one of my favorite video games." I think it was about a year before Borderlands 2 came out, and he was excited for it. It was announced, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't wait to play it." And this was also at a time in my life where I was a little bit crippled. I couldn't really leave the house, so I had nothing better to do but play video games. So I was like, I might as well try again. So going off of his recommendation, and he was saying it was so funny, I'm like, how is this game funny? So I went into it with a bit of an open mind, and sure enough, I fell in love with it. After playing it, I could finally see it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I grinded it.
I'm with you as far as like, oh yeah, I fell in love with it. Despite, like I said, hating FPSs, like this game really, it's top tier for me. Far as
I'll go ahead and I'll say my favorite word again. It has a lot of charm. This game has it. Yeah, it's got a personality to it. Like this series, like it's so funny. All the little characters that have their own personalities and all the charm that's brought into this game. Like it doesn't have to be cutesy, unicorns and rainbows and shit. It becomes that later, but
does it?
And with Tiny Tina, but we'll get to that in another game.
Oh, okay.
But like when I say charming, I don't mean just that. I mean just like it has just so much personality that it throws at you. That
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's not just shoot 'em and go. It's you can play it that way, but there's a lot you're gonna miss if you do that. And
absolutely,
I'll be honest, that's kind of how I played it. But I mean
on this playthrough, same. Like I said, I wasn't listening to the game at all. I was watching anime while I played the game, so it was just a looter shooter to me. Just mindless violence.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you take the time to actually sit and listen to the dialogue and listen to all the voice recordings and everything, like there's so much to listen to. There's so much story and backstory and
Oh yeah, I am definitely with you. Like there's. He doesn't really add much as far as I can tell, but just Scooter being Scooter, you know what I mean? He's like he's like the hillbilly of hillbillies. Yeah, come on, catch a ride.
Oh yeah. It's fantastic. And then like so you got him, you got Marcus, constantly telling you shit like, and the voices that you get from every time you open up the stores, like Dr. Zed and Marcus, and like they add so much personality to the game, and it's just so much comedy. Mad Moxie's not really in this game until you get to the DLC, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Because she's a staple of the franchise.
That one I actually didn't get to play. I didn't get to play that DLC. I wanted to, but I didn't get a chance.
You and I should hop on there.
Heck yeah.
But to get to like talking about the game now, like we mentioned that the game isn't very long, and one thing I want to point out as we move into the gripes about the game is one thing that gives the game some length is the fact that you have to fucking walk everywhere.
Oh,
for the most part, like that's a big chunk of this game. If you didn't, so on my notes here, I have two things written that kind of go with each other. And the first one is that my first big gripe about the game is that you cannot move the map when you're in the map menu. If you don't know where your objective is, you can zoom the map in and out a little bit by pressing the A button on the controller. But because I played it with an Xbox controller on PC, but you can't move the map. At least, okay. So I was playing original. Just as a quick disclosure or disclaimer, I was playing the original Game of the Year edition. I was not playing the enhanced edition. There are a lot of differences.
Actually, that was the same with me. I didn't like as I'm finishing the game, I realized, oh, there's the enhanced edition. I should have tried that.
Yeah, I did go and play the enhanced edition a little bit last night just to see the differences. And I think that you can do this in that, but the original game I'm talking about, you can't.
So actually, I wish I had known that you were having trouble with that, because you can do that. Maybe not with the controller, but at the very least with keyboard and mouse, like you can click and drag the map around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shit, I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
That probably would have saved me a lot of frustration.
You know now, right?
Yeah, I do. But I mean, with that being said, too, like another problem I had with the game, and maybe this was just me, but I tried my best to find it. Now, in the later games, when you open up the map, I believe if I'm remembering correctly, you can quick travel. Like in the third game, you can quick travel straight from the map. You don't need to go find a special quick travel station.
Ooh, can you?
Yeah, but the maps are also so much bigger, and there's multiple jump locations on certain maps. Like, it's a totally different game. But
Yeah.
in this game, the problem I was having with the quick travel system was when you would go into the quick travel menu at each station that you would find. In the later games, they'll put an objective marker next to the name of the place you want to quick travel to for that objective.
Oh, that's nice.
This game did not do that.
No, you have like a "you're here" thing, but that's it.
Yeah, and you would have to read the description of the mission to tell you generally where to go. Otherwise, you would just have to walk through each map following your compass to try to find the actual objective.
Yeah. And that's like, and yeah, you follow the actual like dot. And I guess for the sake of grinding, it kind of makes sense, but
Yeah.
like that's just kind of cheesy in my opinion, right? Like they're almost not forcing you, but like making it so you have to walk through or drive through, and yeah, okay, you're picking up experiences, you kill the enemies, but at the same time it's just kind of like, shit, I just want to get this done with.
Yeah, and it's kind of annoying to do that when you're leveled up, because now you're going back through these areas and the game does scale to your level, kind of like it okay, so that's actually the wrong terminology. It does not scale. So like when you go back to an old area and you start killing enemies that you were struggling with before, now you're only getting like 1 or 2 XP from these enemies that you're killing. So it's pointless to even go through these areas fighting. It's like, it's nice when you have a car because you can just run everything over.
Yeah.
But when you're literally walking, like when your car blows up, say you're in Rust Commons West and you hit one of those fucking barrels, your car blows up. Now you're walking to find a car station, but you have to fight everything along the way. Otherwise, it's just annoying. And it's like, it's not even worth it because you're not even getting XP.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you got a really good point on that, because it's not, I mean, I've got my level 67 now, Mordecai, where I'm on my second playthrough, like second and a half playthrough or something like that. And he's got the best of the best gear. He's got all the above. And actually we'll get into that later on. But yeah, no, I'm going through and it's like I'm fighting these enemies and I'm going through like missions, because he's actually the one that I did for the DLC for Dr. Ned's. And like I'm only getting like 1 or 2 XP per kill, and it's kind of like, all right, this is like I'm one-shotting everything, which is fantastic, but
yeah, but it's just like, okay, let's get on with it. Like,
yeah.
I think on my Steam account, it says I took about 18 hours to get to like where I'm at right now, and that includes one of the arenas in one of the DLCs, and also the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned DLC. So it took me like 15 hours to beat the main game. Yeah. And that's including like all of the side missions that I could find. So it's not a long game, but I honestly probably could have cut that down to 10 had I not had to fucking walk everywhere.
Yeah. And like you can try and use that fast travel system and you might get where you're trying to go.
Oh yeah. And like that's also me having played this game before, knowing generally where to go and how these games work. So if it's a new player not knowing anything about the game, it might be a 20-hour playthrough. That's fine. But especially if you take the time to sit there and listen to everything and talk to everybody and, you know, really explore the game. I didn't do that. I was just playing through it for the sake of the show. Just to refresh my memory. But yeah, it's I want to say it's like a 15-20 hour game.
Yeah, okay. And I can see that. I mean, it is, yeah, like we were saying, it's short, you know. And it's yeah, that walking everywhere is really a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I remember at some point I'm like I think there was a few times where I'm like, fuck, I wish I had a car. And then I look at the map and realize that I like had passed by a car station, like, I don't know, like a few kilometers ago. And I'm like, fuck. And I look and the next one is just about the same distance. Like I'm perfectly in the middle.
Yeah. So now you have to literally walk. And it sucks when you're like in one of those maps where it's a very car heavy map. Yeah. And like that one with the one boss fight. And it's literally just this giant open area. And there's like one car station on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That one boss fight, you know.
Yeah.
That one.
The one that you get the third key piece from. The one that's like on that giant mining machine. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There's like 1 or 2 car stations on there, and I made the mistake of walking to the edge of the map where there was not a car station. So I had to walk all the way back. And like, granted, at the end of the game there, I had that SMG. I was able to like 3-shot the cars. Like, it wasn't a problem. I was so OP. Yeah. But it's still annoying. Like, okay, now I have to walk this entire way and kill these 1 XP skags along the way. And, you know, these cars I got coming at me. And God forbid one of the cars hits me, I'm dead. Yeah. So it's just like...
I'm just saying that 3-shot would have been a 2-shot with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Just saying.
You want to get into this now?
I mean, if you want to get into this now, I feel like we've got more content to cover, but I'll argue with you all day, bud.
This is actually a good time to get into this because I want to move on to the things we like. And one of the things I do like is
the shotgun.
No, actually. The randomization of the weapons.
Oh, tell me about it. Lay it on me, Rob.
That's the first thing I have in my notes here for things I like about the game.
That's one of the first ones of mine too.
And it's perfect. I mean, this game is the definition of a looter shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So every, weapons chest you find, every time you open up the gun store, well, not every time, but like things are constantly changing. You get a notification on your screen saying, hey, the stock or the inventory in the stores have changed because there's a day-night cycle. So like every new day, there's new inventory in all the shops.
Yeah.
The weapons are always random. And I love that. Like, you go.
No, you're good. Sorry, I had to cough and didn't want to like do that right. I'm like,
okay.
I figured I'd save you guys. You can thank me later. I'm not saying I'm a hero, but anyway, so yeah, like, and what's great about that, like, yeah, none of the guns are the same, and like you can go through, as far as I can tell, you can go through the like most playthroughs, and short of like the specific guns that you get from killing bosses that are like legendaries or something that are like, that boss's specific gun. Yeah. You're not going to get the same one every time. Like you could get a terrible, pea shooter or something like that. And then like the next time it could be like not to this extreme, but like a legendary, like, a legendary one. I can't think of the exact terms.
Well, I mean, let's break that down too, because if anybody doesn't know, like in this game, there's a color rating for the weapons. So like a white weapon, like a white color weapon is the worst one. It's just garbage. It's like what you start the game with and you never really want to use that ever again. And then I think it goes green, then blue, then purple, then orange. And orange is legendary status. Like there's like those weapons are specific. Like, I think in the first Borderlands game and the second one, there's a finite amount of legendary weapons. And they all have like special names and like they are like you have to find them in certain places. But in the later games, like 3, I think there's like an unlimited amount or whatever. But
so I'm actually going to argue with you on that a little bit. So I was looking through, and remember that mod that I was telling you about for making your own weapons?
Yeah.
So you can, so when you make your own weapons, right, it will generally speaking go up to orange. But if you make it just the right way, you'll actually get another tier above that, and it'll be yellow. I think it's yellow. No, it's like gold.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like, and those ones, I think those are the ones you're talking about that have their own specific names. So like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like those ones are like the stupid rare ones. The orange ones are incredibly rare. Don't let me mince my words here or anything. Okay. But like you get one of those yellow ones, like you're talking massive amounts of damage. It's so much fun.
And it's like you'll with a white weapon, you'll get like it'll have almost like a negative effect. Like it's really not even worth using. It's just fodder for sale.
Yeah, like bare basics beginning of the game, you're not bothering with it.
Yeah, like if I don't know, it's just garbage weapons, and it'll have like a super long reload time and like terrible accuracy and like super bad rate of fire. But then you get up to like a yellow weapon or an orange weapon or even a purple weapon sometimes, and it's like really fast rate of fire, strong shot. Sometimes it's an elemental. You'll get like a 0.2 second reload time. It's insane.
Oh, tell me about it. It's so good.
So yeah, the randomization of weapons is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're talking about the SMGs. I mean, they're just the best.
God, why are you so on? You know what? Let me back up here. It's not your fault that you're ignorant of the shotgun.
I'm not ignorant of the shotgun. I just know that the SMG's better.
You're obviously ignorant of the shotgun because you can't even stay ignorant, Rob.
I was also drinking water. Stay hydrated.
No, we're not at the end of the podcast yet. Don't do that.
Well, it is for you, Mr. Shotgun.
Yeah, okay. Let's see you try and hit me when I'm behind cover and I've got my freaking. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. All right.
I'll just phase walk and go behind you. You won't even see it coming.
I'll phase walk and go behind you. We're both Lilith.
And then we'll both be on either side of the cover. We'll be opposite of where we started. What's the point?
Exactly. What's the point?
I'll just shoot you from further away with my better accuracy with my SMG. I mean, granted, it's not a sniper rifle, but it's got a good rate of fire, so I have multiple chances. You
do. At the same time, though, I can phase walk, get right up in front of you with my shotgun and hit you with what, like 125 times 12, and then your innie became an outie.
Well, you know what? If I'm all the way on the other side of the room and I hit you with a critical shot, then you're done. And that actually leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is the critical kill satisfaction.
We're coming back to this,
segue.
Rob.
We're coming back to this. We will be back later, but I want to talk about just how satisfying it is when you get a critical kill.
Oh, isn't it though?
It is. Oh my God. Like, so
boom, headshot.
Like with any game, I want to say like any game, but it's, obviously not every game. But
not every game.
A lot of games teach you about the idea that like, oh, hey, hit this special part of the enemy and you'll do, you'll hit its weak spot or whatever. Well, this game is wonderful because it'll literally pop up with the word critical when you hit someone in their weak spot. And it does, multiplicative damage. It's fantastic.
Especially when you hit him with a shotgun. I told you're not getting away from this easy. We'll
come back. But with an SMG, you can hit them like multiple times really fast in the same critical hit spot. And it's just, so satisfying.
Oh, I feel you. It's kind of like with a shotgun where you're right up on top of them. You hit them right in the face with a one shell and they explode into a million pieces.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with the Buster SMG that I got, it's, I don't know, man. I took you down in one shot.
You did. But at the same time, you were also, 10 levels higher than me?
Shut up.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Because someone was having some trouble with the final boss using a shotgun? Just saying.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
To be fair, I do love shotguns.
He admits it.
I just did not have a shotgun build.
To be fair, I do love SMGs.
Okay. Because SMGs are better.
What? No! I take it back.
All right. Oh my God. All right, we got to get past this.
We do. We'll talk about this in therapy.
Yeah, we'll argue with each other later. We'll fist fight each other later.
We will.
But
I bet you I'll lose.
Not if you bring a shotgun.
But what if you bring an SMG? No, all right, I'll stop.
But all right, so I mean, yes, the critical kill satisfaction is fantastic. I mean, on your regular, small enemy. I'm sorry, I have my bird eating my chair right now. I'm trying to stop him.
Bucky, what are you doing?
For any like regular enemy, it's nice. It's just it's satisfying. But for some enemies, it's almost necessary. Like yes, those I forget what they're called, but like those spider crab things.
Oh, the spiderlings.
Yeah, you have to get behind them and shoot them in their critical spot. Otherwise, and especially when they gang up on you. Otherwise, like there's almost you can't hit them from the front because they have a shielded exterior. Like they have a shielded front, so shooting them in the front just does absolutely nothing, even with a shotgun.
Yeah, especially with an SMG.
But getting behind them and hitting them in the weak spot, it's like a one-hit kill with any weapon.
Yeah.
But
close to it. I mean, I've had some trouble with like the kings and the queens where it's like you have to hit them a few times before they actually go down. Yeah.
And then like when you get into any boss fight, you pretty much almost have to shoot them in their weak spot. Otherwise, they're just absolute bullet sponges.
Ain't that the truth? Ask me about the vault thing.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Because I'm saving one gripe for the end of this episode when we do a mini spoiler cast. But, and I mean, okay, so to get off of the critical hit satisfaction, because I could talk about that all day, just the noise they make, especially when you're killing the lances. You loved killing the lances.
Oh, God. Can
As
I?
morbid
Can
as
I?
that sounds, yeah, go for it. Go off.
You all right if I go into this?
Go off.
All right. So I get in New Haven, right? And I have no elemental weapons whatsoever.
New
I'm
Haven or
trying
Old
to go
Haven?
through and mow these bastards down with their freaking giant armor where it's like you hit them in the armor, you get no damage to them. And it's like you have to just barely touch their head, or like they're just barely touching their head out of their shield so you can actually hit them. So it's like they're the most annoying freaking boss. Dude, I have died so many times in New Haven. I
New Haven or
freaking
Old
hate
Haven?
that place. Old Haven. I'm sorry, I keep saying new. Old Haven. This is specifically Old Haven. So I died so many times there. It was so obnoxious. And then eventually, one of these lances, these little shits, drops a ×3 caustic shotgun with this. I think it's something like 12 times 75 or 12 times 85 damage. And let me tell you, that was a game changer. You want to know why I love shotguns? That gun right there. I was blasting them down. It was like 2-3 hits max to kill them. And when they did, every single time it was elemental damage. So I'm not a psycho. I just want everyone to understand this because I understand how this is going to come out. I'm not a psycho. And that's something that a psycho would say. So I'm going through, I shoot these guys, I get a crit. They're now exploding into this amazing eruption of acidic disgustingness, and they're falling apart, and I'm hearing the screams as they freaking killed me so many times. The amount of satisfaction that I took in that. Rob, I have a problem. I need help.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
I'm a little concerned for you.
I'm concerned for me too.
Maybe we should play some happy games.
Can we please?
For a while. Yes.
We should play Stardew. Can we play Stardew?
We can play Stardew in group therapy. Yes. So, but no, I absolutely agree with you. And like, yeah, it is just satisfying. And that part of the game I had trouble with too, because I, for the life of me, could not find the objective because of the stupid fucking compass.
Oh,
but
God.
Because in that specific area in Old Haven, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're trying to put out those fires.
Mm-hmm.
And the compass leads you to the direct middle of the map. And you would think, like, I walked around there for like 10 minutes before I finally opened up the menu and read what I was supposed to do.
That is one of my biggest gripes with this game.
Yes. And that objective was not for a specific thing, but it was for a generalized area. And we'll get into this in a minute because I want to talk also about that stupid rifle barrel. But you know what? Actually, let's backstep real quick and talk about that because yes,
we're stabbing lances now.
We're yes, we are. So to go back to a gripe about the map, yes, the compass sometimes will be to point you to a specific item,
or it's supposed to.
Or yeah, it'll bring you to a specific item or person or whatever. Or sometimes, without telling you, it'll bring you to an area, and you now have to realize yourself that this compass is just bringing you to a generalized larger area of the map, and it is up to you to find specific items or objectives within that map.
Oh God!
What the fuck?
Dumb. It's so dumb, dude. It's so dumb.
Why didn't they just make multiple objective markers to say like, hey, there's 4? I mean, like, you got to read the mission, which again, I wasn't doing because I was watching anime, but you have to read the mission to see that it says you're here. You have to scroll down for it, by the way, too. And you have to read that it says, put out the fires. So you have to then look at the sky and find the fucking smoke signals. Like,
and hope that you're not actually looking at the one that's fucking like kilometers away. That's not even in New Haven.
Yeah, Old Haven. Yes,
Old Haven. Damn it, I keep doing that.
Yeah, and you have to then like walk around this gauntlet at the time. Like when you're at the level that you are to do that mission, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
If you go in there much later, it's not that hard because you can just one shot everything. But going in there at the time, it's a fucking nightmare.
Ask me about my Mordecai, please. Ask me about my Mordecai
later, because we will talk about your Mordecai when we get to the DLC.
Oh, buddy. Oh, I love my Mordecai.
That's
good times.
You cheater.
What? I'm not cheating. I mean, I went through the whole game with him. at some point.
Okay. But then now to hop back, I feel like we're making like a fucking time travel movie.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
let's hop back to something I wanted to mention when you were talking about your shotgun and the lance killing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I like about this game. Another thing I got in my notes, and it's the weapon effects. So, would you care to take this one?
If you're all right with that, I would love to.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. This is a double-edged sword of amazing fuck you. Let me tell you, like I said, if you get an elemental kill with a caustic weapon, my absolute favorite gun of all time, right, in these games is anything to do with caustic. You get a 3 times or 4 times caustic shotgun. Oh, the satisfaction. Oh, it's chef's kiss. Mwah. It's so good. But if you get like an SMG or you get something with a higher rate of fire, higher fire rate, it's obnoxious. You'll be shooting. You can't see what you're shooting at. You have to rely on that auto targeting just to make sure that you're actually looking in the proper area. You can't even tell if you're hitting the damn thing because all the splatter that comes off of it, you can't look down the sights when you're using it. And it's like, okay, sure, effect, great, fantastic. It's really visually pleasing, but at the same time, it gets in the way so badly. But like I said, when you're doing damage and you're seeing those freaking the acid splatter come off of these dudes and they're just like screaming for their mommy, it feels so wrong, but so right.
And I mean, I want to explain what the elemental effects are too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So like each gun, there's a chance that when you get each weapon that there's an elemental effect to it. So like you're saying, there's the caustic effect, which is like acid. So your bullets essentially do like they have a chance to have an acid effect, which is really good against flesh and enemies like when they have their shields down.
It's decent against armor, though. It is decent. It's not the best, right? It's not like a shock weapon, but I'm getting ahead of you.
Yeah, and I mean the shock weapons. Those are more meant to affect shields and bring down shields. So like later in the game when you're fighting the Guardians heading up to the vault, they have really high shields but really low HP. So using a shock weapon against an enemy like that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
but
it's almost
also
like a one-shot kill.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's also the explosive bullets elemental effect and the fire. And I think that's it for Borderlands 1, because in later games you get into like slag, which slows your enemies down and stuff like that.
Oh, does it? Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So pretty much every explosive barrel that you can come across in the game, or every element that you can come across with your gun, you can also find as an explosive barrel in the game. So like blue barrels have a shock effect, red barrels have a fire explosive effect, blah blah blah.
Yellow and then green.
Yeah. So it's great when you learn. So like even if you don't have a weapon that has an elemental effect like that, you can oftentimes find these barrels in these combat areas that you can use to your advantage for something like that.
Oh. When you're saying barrels, I'm thinking like you're talking about a gun. I didn't think I couldn't.
I was talking about like a 55-gallon drum.
Yes. Okay. Now it all makes sense because I'm sitting here thinking like, what? Do you know something about this game I don't? Like, what's going on here?
No. Like, you can literally, like, if you have a regular bullet weapon, you can shoot an explosive barrel of any kind of effect if it's next to an enemy, and it'll do whatever it does. Like, you can shoot a caustic barrel, and it'll hit multiple enemies around it, and do that effect on them.
Yes.
So sometimes if you end up having a second wind, so which is when you get shot and you go down, you have a chance to kill an enemy to go back up. And if you're playing alone, you need that. Otherwise, you can have a friend revive you. But yeah, you have a chance to kill an enemy and get what's called a second wind. And sometimes those barrels are absolute lifesavers when you're doing that, because then you can just shoot that, it'll kill an enemy, and you can get up and run away.
Yes, and that right there is that second wind system is great unless you die behind cover.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't. Or you're going up against like a boss or something like that. Oh God, Crom's Canyon, dude. I can't tell you how many times I died trying to do that freaking thing, and like got second winds, and like I'm trying to shoot at him to try and get something, any kind of second wind or something like that, just kind of back up, and like he just throws those rocket launchers at you, and you're just done. There's no way you're coming back from that.
or you like throw a grenade down to kill the last enemy, and the grenade ends up knocking your ass down too. So now there's no enemies around you to kill. That's happened to me before.
Yep.
Or like you shoot an explosive barrel next to the last enemy, not realizing that you're right next to another one or some shit, and it just that
I've had a few times where like I've been like super low on health, and I've got like the last enemy, and I didn't realize they threw a grenade, and it's like right behind me. I'm like, yeah, I finally won, and I go to take a couple steps, boom, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's some parts of that. Yeah, it's there's definitely a strategy to this game, but sometimes just can't beat it. It just
No,
can't get ahead of it.
nope. You could try, but you're fucked.
Yeah, and then you're kind of sitting there and you just kind of watching that bar go down. Like, well, I could just call it early and just make myself, revive. Or you like do that sad look around. Like, there's got to be something here I can shoot, like a scat or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're hoping for like a psycho midget.
Yeah, like you're looking into the sky thinking maybe there's a rack flying in the distance you can shoot with your like 0 accuracy, and you're like, no, okay.
Yeah, you can't look down. Full disclosure, right? If you're in that state and you're down, you cannot look down the barrel. So if you've got like, a sniper rifle, oh, awesome, I can shoot them and like get super pinpoint accuracy. No, you can't.
No, you're hip firing that shit.
No, you can't.
Yeah, and that's where I'll say that like an SMG and a shotgun come great into play, because like when you're down and you are in the middle of some shit and there's enemies right around you, you can either just like quick rip them with the SMG, or you can just one shot them and get right back up.
Yeah, exactly. And that. I will give that to the SMG, right? There's been plenty of times where it's like I've been down, there's been enemies too far away. I pulled out my SMG and I've fired just blindly at them and finally was able to get out. Exactly. Yeah. And that's like, to Lilith's credit with SMGs, there's one class mod. So let me kind of explain with that. There's different class mods that you can get, and what they do, you find them randomly and you can attach them to your character, and they add different effects to them. The one that I'm specifically talking about, I can't remember all the specifics to it, but it gives you additional fire rate. It gives you, I think, better explosive damage.
Add points to your skills as well on your skill tree.
Yes, I think mine did have, I can't remember exactly which one, but it did have some additionals. But the biggest thing with that class mod that I had was that it had a +8 I can't remember exactly what the terminology was, but it was reloading your bullets. So it would automatically refill your SMG bullets if you were holding the gun in your hand. So it was a lifesaver for a lot of different times. Shotgun through and through. I love a shotgun. Will always go for a shotgun first. But in those situations where it's like you're low on ammo for like everything else, you only have an SMG and you need to just destroy and cause havoc and mayhem and hear the sweet sound of Lance's dying.
Oh boy.
Using an SMG in that regard is absolutely fantastic. I think I need a break here. I'm thinking about Lance's too much. I need therapy.
All right, well, I will take it away. And are you okay, buddy?
Hey, Rob. Yeah, I'm good. What's up? Hey, welcome back to the podcast.
I'm going to call someone for you. But yeah, sorry, I was lost track there because I was focusing on my bird too. He's like freaking out.
I threw off the entire podcast. You're welcome, everyone.
That's okay. I mean, that's pretty much most of it for like what I wanted to talk about, my gripes and my things I liked. I mean, the only other thing that I got to say about the things I like about this game that we didn't really touch on was the sense of humor.
Oh yeah, it's cheeky. It's cheeky.
It's so funny. Like even every character introduction, like every time you come across either a major boss or a main character to the story plot, they always get some form of introduction, like a special like zoom in on themselves, and it'll say something cheeky underneath their name. Like I have it written down here, for example, like Nine Toes. When you first come across Nine Toes, which is one of the first bosses in the game, it just says P.S. He's got 3 balls. It's like they didn't need to put that in there, but it's so funny,
What's the Baron Flint? I think it is, where it's nothing. I can't remember exactly what they say, but it's like he gets his own little thing, and it's got the arrow that's pointing down to him, and it like goes out and it just stops everything. He bounds on it just to kind of like start it back up. Like,
Yeah, it's just this game has such a funny sense of humor, and then like even the intro screen, like when you're sitting in the main menu of the game and you got like Claptrap dancing around and he's just like making all this commentary and stuff. It's like they didn't need to do that, but they did, you know.
mm-hmm. Talking about the intro, man, if you like when you're sitting there for just long enough and it comes into like the intro movie and you're listening to that, you're just watching it all, man. I've listened to that so many times. That is my favorite Cage the Elephant song. It's so good.
Yeah,
that's actually one of the reasons that I really got this game. Like, yeah, it was because of Blade, but like listening to that song, I love it.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, like the intro video to this game, like when you first launch up the game, it's an intro movie basically to introduce the 4 characters that you can play as, and they do this whole cinematic intro along with the song "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked" by Cage the Elephant, which is a phenomenal tune.
Wait, who's it by?
Cage the Elephant.
I thought you said KTM. I'm like, wait, what?
No, Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant.
Yeah, it's by KTM Motorcycles.
Yeah, exactly. This podcast is brought to you by
myself and Fred here because we don't have any sponsors yet.
Yeah, we're not trying to get shut down, guys.
Yeah. But this is just like I've said from episode 1, this is just a passion project for us. We just love these games.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, it's such a great intro. And you know what? Actually, I would like to talk about. Yeah, there are 4 characters you can play as, which does add a lot of strategy to the game. So like you and I both played through this playthrough as Lilith, which is a siren character, and she has certain special abilities that make it so that, like, in my personal opinion, now to jump off subject a little bit, in my personal opinion, I think that if you're going to do a solo playthrough of Borderlands 1, she is the best character to play as.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. In my opinion, I also... do you mind if I take over real quick?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. So in my opinion, I think second up would either be Mordecai or Roland, the soldier. Mordecai is the sniper and Roland is the soldier, right? And the reason I'm saying that is... And you can argue with me on this one because I think you've got just different opinions. But with Roland, he has that turret that you can set up, and that's an extra amount of firepower that you have with that. And it also has a shield to it, you know. So it's great to have that extra amount of cover. If you're in the middle of nowhere, you've got nothing. So you can just kind of sit there and just bang, 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 bang. And then at the same time, it's just 2 people. And the reason that I'm saying Mordecai is my second is because of Bloodwing. Now, when you level up his Red Hawk, I think is what Bloodwing is. Anyway, when you level him up, he can attack up to 6 enemies at once. So you throw him, and then you've got just this bird that can't be hit, taking out all of these enemies at once. And it really helps narrow down and kind of filter out the numbers of the enemy as you're playing along.
Yeah, it just I really like everything you just said, and I agree with you 100%. And the thing that I would say to build upon that is that there's no wrong way to go about it.
That's what's great about it.
It's just every character you play as, the reason that you and I prefer different characters is because each different character adds or changes, I should say, your strategy. Because like Mordecai is a specialist sniper, so he can hit enemies from far away. And, you have, better accuracy and stuff with snipers with Mordecai, special ability with the bird. Lilith is a siren. She can go invisible, sneak up behind enemies, and she has special melee abilities when you're invisible. And she also has SMG perks. Then you have Roland, who's better with machine guns, and he's got the turret, which allows you to then, you can place a turret down on the entryway to an area, and then you can flank the enemies and run behind them. So while they're being aggroed to your turret, because I used to always play as Roland, like, it's great. It adds a whole level of strategy that you normally wouldn't get as other characters.
Yeah.
And then there's Brick. And Brick is
a tank.
He's arguably the funniest character that you can play as, in my opinion. At least in the later games, he has the most personality. He's so funny. and he's basically, yeah, he's just a tank. The dude's like 10 feet tall, and he's got, I think his special ability is a rage mode, and you can just go in and just start whacking people, and you do like such increased melee damage. And I think he specializes with shotguns. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I would say I think it's either shotguns or RPGs, but I think you're right on shotguns.
Oh, maybe it's RPGs. You're right. I don't know. I don't remember. But I never really played as Brick. But yeah, so each of the 4 characters definitely changes the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's fantastic, because also this game really is meant to be played multiplayer.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this game. There are so few couch co-op games that I enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of them that I really do, because if you've got a group of 4 people together playing this, like you're having a blast, man. There's this strategy to it. You're seeing all these different parts of the character come into play with each other. You're finding things that you're supporting each other, and it's not you're out for yourself. You can play that way single player, but you've got so much more to the game if you add in more people, and that's like they did a great job with that too. You know,
they really did a great job, and with this game and with the whole franchise, in my opinion, with that, because like every game you're able to do at least split screen co-op, I believe. And yeah, as long as like, and it's so much better. Yeah, when you have one person playing as a different character, like you have use of all 4 playable characters. Then there's so much strategy to the game, and it's so much fun, because there's just like, you know, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's pretty, we've said it all. Yeah. You know, you can take advantage of every character's special ability, and you're reviving your friends, and you're shooting, and you have different, you know, weapon types coming into the battle. You got Brick shooting rockets, you got Roland shooting machine guns, and Mordecai sniping from a distance, Lilith running around invisible, killing everybody, you know, you can't even see her. It's just, it's crazy. The game is hectic. It really is, but it's so much fun.
Yeah. And what's cool about it is there are roles to the characters that like they're better for. Like you look at Roland and you look at Mordecai, for instance, right? They're more of a support versus, you know, Brick being a tank, and then Lilith being like a DPS, you know, like that's kind of the idea of them. But at the same time, you don't have to play as just that. Like it's what they specialize in, sure, but you can change it up completely, and it really makes it a fluid game from that aspect, you know?
Yeah, and you can even have 4 sirens running around. You can just have 4 snipers. You can just do whatever you want. The choice is yours.
It's just a menagerie of fucked up goodness, especially when you're never mind.
It's just fun. And that's, you know, like all the Borderlands games, in my opinion, have always just been fun. They have
you're killing lances
with shotguns.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
But yeah, like all the games, you know, even up to Tiny Tina's Wonderland, you know, they've always just remained funny and fun. They have personality, they have charm. And, you know, I think where Borderlands 1 really starts to find its personality, where it really starts to be what I think of when I think of Borderlands, is in the DLC. And I would like to, you know, we're getting up on 45 minutes with this podcast, 50 minutes.
How does it happen so quick, man?
I don't know. But being in the spirit of spooky season, it is October 19th when we're recording this right now. And for the sake of the holiday of Halloween, I wanted to do something a little spooky. You know, I don't think we're going to get to a spooky game this year, really, but I wanted to do something.
Fred's a bitch.
Maybe we'll do Resident Evil 4 next year or something. But
or not, or we could not do that.
I'm gonna. But but this
I guess
game,
I have to then.
The first DLC that was released for Borderlands 1 was called The Zombie Island of Dr. Ned.
Which is totally not Dr. Zed.
Oh, it's totally not Dr. Zed. They don't even know each other.
Not at all.
But and he's totally the good guy.
Yeah.
But this game, it was just, this is where I think the game really started to get funny and spooky at the same time, because you're fighting zombies. The theming of it was fantastic.
Yeah. They did
But,
great with the music too on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The music in the Borderlands games never ceases to, be entertaining.
Mhm.
But to get into the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned just a little bit, I wrote a list of gripes and things I like for this as well. And on my list of gripes, the first thing I have is, again, having to walk everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
There is in the DLC for the regular Game of the Year edition, I don't think there was any fast travel to any location other than the main entry of the DLC. So anywhere you wanted to go within this DLC, you had to walk.
There were a few spots, but yeah, for the most part, you're completely right.
Could you fast travel anywhere other than the main entry dock? Because I know you could go to different map sections, but you had to walk everywhere from there.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. That's my mistake. I was thinking of Dead Haven, but that even then you can't really fast travel to there if I remember right.
Yeah, no. And then if you forget anything in Dead Haven, you literally have to walk all the way around Dead Haven.
Oh god, that was the most annoying thing.
So fucking annoying.
It's like all of the worst parts of Old Haven. I said it right that time, and they added in.
Yeah, because New Haven is actually quite small. Dead Haven is a pain in the ass, and having to walk everywhere in the Dr. Ned DLC is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The next pain in the ass, I gotta say, is those stupid corpse eater bat fuckers.
Oh, fuck them.
I literally have it written down as those damn corpse eater bat fuckers. Because I don't mind racks because they swoop down and they fly right back up, and you can shoot them when they're flying away. Those damn corpse eater bat fuckers, they fly down and they circle you, and I don't know where the fuck they are.
Yup. Oh,
so
the worst.
What I ended up doing a lot of the time when I was fighting them and the group of them that would fly down, if I couldn't shoot them all while they were coming at me, if one of them actually ended up being flying around me, I would just blindly melee in circles until I finally hit it and I was able to walk away.
Yeah, that's I was lucky enough to not have to deal with them too terribly much, because Mordecai. But at the same time, it's like the ones that I did have to deal with, they were such a pain in the ass. That was like one of the few times that I actually had to use Bloodwing to actually get rid of them, because they were just constantly attacking. They weren't doing much damage to me, but it was.
But when there's 10 of them, it's just annoying.
Yeah, exactly. You're constantly getting hit. You can't see things because it's like they're there 1 second, gone the next. Yeah.
And I mean that's really the only two big gripes I have about the DLC. It's just walking everywhere and then those stupid enemies. And then also the last thing I do have written down here, slight spoiler cast for the end of this DLC, so skip ahead like a minute if you don't want to hear it. Is that at the end of the DLC, after you defeat the final boss, there's no real reward. There's no weapon that drops, there's no money that you get really. It's just kind of over. Yeah,
you get a little bit of something, but it's not. And that was even with here's spoiler alert too. With the end of the actual main quest, right?
Well,
I'm gonna hold off on that.
I'm gonna hold off on that for a minute.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about real quick things that I like about the DLC, and then we'll give the last final spoiler cast for the main game.
Got it.
But I mean, I already said. Let me see. Yeah, I already said two of these things. So, I mean, the theming of it, like the horror, spooky theming of it, it's perfect. It's just, the haunted hospital, the generally hospital. That was hilarious, and then just the theming of it, the zombie of it, it was just fun. I like Halloween, so to me, it was just a lot of fun. And I remember playing through 10 years ago or so, all of the DLC for Borderlands 1, and I just remember loving all of them. They're just a lot of fun.
Yeah. I haven't played through all of the DLCs. I've played through a very tiny bit of Mad Moxie. And then obviously Dr. Ned's. But and I agree with what you're saying too. Like they find their own a lot better once you get into the DLCs, because you look at how Dr. Ned's really comes together. Like they've kind of chiseled out what they wanted it to be and kind of perfected it. It perfected the Borderlands experience formula, I guess, with that. What's that?
Yeah. Nothing.
You're good.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, the game really starts to find its personality. To reiterate, and it starts to introduce the DLCs here start to introduce more of the characters that become staples later on. Like the next DLC that comes out is Mad Moxie's Underdome. Now this is where you get to meet Mad Moxie, and she is arguably one of the most popular characters in the entire franchise. And then you have General Knox, the Secret Armory of General Knox is the third DLC, and then Borderlands Claptrap's New Revolution, which is teased at the very end of the main story. But yeah, those characters, they're all, I mean, aside from Dr. Ned, but they all are reoccurring characters later on in the game or in later games. But I mean, the next couple things I have written down here for things I like about the DLC is just that there's new areas to explore, which is great. You know, it's good that they added more to the game and not just more missions to the same maps. They added a completely new area.
Yeah, they took their time with this, man.
Oh, they really did. And I mean, like, they did take their time with it, but at the same time, the third thing I have written down here, the last thing I have written down here, is that it is short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You can get through the entire DLC, all side quests and everything included, in a couple of hours.
Yeah, and it's not, and I get it, right? That's what a DLC is really supposed to boil down to, is like it's just add-on content for when you're finished with the game, you know?
Yeah,
and it's nice, right? You get this extra bit that's just fun, and it's like, okay, let me show off my character, because I remember the main reason that I went with my Mordecai is because my Lilith was level 37, and I was looking at the starting mission. It was like level 42. I'm like, I don't have time to get her that high. So I just kind of finished off with my level 66 at the time Mordecai. I was like, yeah, this is great. All right, I can get the full experience of the DLC, and if one shot every single zombie in existence. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, things were getting kind of crunched for time by then too, so it's, made sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's short and sweet, and it's fun. I want to say it could take you like 3-4 hours to go through if you kind of take your time.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that being said, now I want to just give it the praise, and say that it is a great DLC. It's a fantastic game, and I just want to say this before we get into the little spoiler cast and before we do our review. Like, it's a great game that if you rush through it, you could probably beat it in like 10 or 12 hours. The main game, and then each DLC is like 3 to 5 hours of fun. They're fun, they're funny. That's like, again, where they really start to find their personality. But with that being said, now we're gonna put a little spoiler cast in here for the next 5 or 10 minutes, I want to say. And we're going to talk about the end of the main game. So if you don't want to hear that, if you haven't played the game, skip ahead 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to talk about the very ending in 3, 2, 1.
Stop.
So now, as we mentioned with the Dr. Ned DLC, at the very end, when you defeat the final boss, there is no real reward. That's kind of a slap in the face. But when you play the main game and you go through all of this stuff, all these missions,
you feel like a hero.
You do, and you're teased, you're dragged along with this idea of great treasure and weapons and money and whatever.
It's the vault. Yeah.
It's the vault. It's the vault. It's finally, you're there. You're at the end of the game. You defeat the vault monster. This fucking, I don't even want to say what it looks like, but this thing.
Play it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. Let's keep it somewhat PG-13.
Exactly.
You get nothing.
You get nothing, dude. You get like some mediocre weapons. You get some ammo to replenish the shitload that you put on that freaking thing, and you get like maybe a gun or two that's like white. Like it's barely anything.
You might get, like, if you're lucky, a purple gun, maybe. Yeah. And it drops like 5 guns, a couple of class mods that you don't need. Like, you get nothing that was worth you playing, 10 to 20 hours of this game for. You play the game, like, once you know the ending, you play the game because it's a fun game. Yeah. But like, what a slap in the face that ending is. It's just, they could have done something. They could have given you like a legendary weapon. But
right? like you go through, or like how Terraria does it, where it's like you can grind through and find like Meowmere, for instance. Like there's a chance of the Moonlord dropping Meowmere, but like even with that, it's like you don't even get that. You don't get like this chance of getting this amazing gun, you know?
Yeah, like you get nothing. The drop rate for the final boss is bullshit. To me, it was like the boss fight took me like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know,
must be nice.
I had built my character in such a way that I had like, 75% SMG damage, or plus 75%, to my class mod. Then I had plus whatever with efficiency, plus whatever with the weapon itself, plus whatever with other things. So I had like 300% plus SMG damage. I was done with it in seconds. But
that's why I looked like a little bitch next to you.
it was, I mean, no offense, but I'm here to help.
Shotguns are better, Rob.
But the ending of the boss fight, for all of that work that you just put into the game, it's pretty disappointing. Later games improved that for sure. I know that a lot of people have complained about the ending of Borderlands 1. I'm sure that a lot of people were complaining about it when the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was not. If you're playing the game for that reward, you're not going to find it.
Yeah. And that's just it. That's one of those things where it's like you go through and you have different playthroughs, right? You have your playthrough 1, you have your playthrough 2, right? And haven't gotten past playthrough 2 because I was kind of like done at that point. But like you'd think that at the very least with doing that, like you could get, there'd be the option of like, okay, maybe I didn't get it this time, but I'll get the super ultimate. I'm drawing a blank now. I don't know why. The dudes that I hate, the ones that die in an acid fire.
Lances?
Lances. Yeah, I don't know why it started. I thought it started with an S.
Strunk.
Wow. All right. Hey. Anyway, like, never mind. I completely forget what I was going to say. But yeah. Okay. No, I got it now. I got it. All right. We're good. But like, you go through, and you're going through these. You would think that just after these different playthroughs, there'd be the at least the chance of getting something amazing from this, because like it is a hard boss to beat, at least in my perspective. You know what I mean? So it could have been this opportunity to get like, oh wow, I completed it, I beat it, and it's like I didn't get it this time, but I got it the second time, and I could show off to all of my friends now. But you don't.
No, I don't think there's anything that you can get from that boss, at least not in the original Game of the Year edition. It's just not. Like, you play the game because it's fun.
Yeah, pure and simple.
So, I mean, I think with that being said, spoiler cast over. So,
don't worry, everyone who hasn't played this 10-year-old game, you're fine.
10,
15,
almost.
Whoa, Rob, I'm old. Oh God. Where did my life go?
IT.
So nowhere.
Anyway, with that being said, we're over an hour now. So I mean, I think that we've said just about everything we want to say about the game. At least I have. What about you?
I like Lance Death.
All right. How about we give this game a rating?
I'm gonna say out of 12 shotgun pellets.
Oh, come on, we can come up with something better than that.
Can we? Because I think that 12 shotgun pellets is a great system to do this with.
I can't honestly think of any other number that stands out in this game, because I don't know what the level cap is. It's like 70 or something.
I think it's higher than that.
Is it?
Because I'm going through my second playthrough, right, and it's like that's like level 20 for that one, so it's got to be higher than that.
I don't know. We could go however many legendary weapons you get from the final boss fight, but that wouldn't work.
So out of zero out of zero. Oh, you know what? Okay, out of 100% disappointment from beating the final boss.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say out of 100% disappointment of fighting the final boss, I say I was about 90% disappointed at defeating the final boss with this game.
They give this game a 90?
I'd say I'd give. Actually, I'd say about 85%.
Okay.
And the reason I'm knocking points off is because I didn't like how the combat was, because like you said, right, you're fighting racks, you're fighting the corpse eaters, like they just kind of circle and they're freaking obnoxious. And actually, I didn't get into this great, but what I didn't like is some of the hitboxes. Like you're far off, you've got a sniper rifle, you're trying to shoot at some dude, he's completely unaware. You got a perfect headshot lined up, you don't get that crit because it goes straight through them and they're not there. And
then, it just goes right next to them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's just weird with the hitboxes. And there's like, certain things with that. And some of the, like, again, like we were talking about with the final boss, like there's a lot to be desired. It's just certain things kind of like, all right, it could have been better, Yeah. So that's where it knocks off points for me. But it comes back when you look at the weaponry. When you look at, yes, combat's a pain in the ass, but it's so satisfying when you finally beat them all. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like you feel like you're king of the hill when you do it, Yeah. And of course, it gets a lot of points for Claptrap.
Oh, absolutely.
Just that's
half
little,
the score.
That's half the score right there, man. That's exactly it.
That's half the score.
So yes, out of 100% being dissatisfied with the final boss fight, I'd say I'm 85% dissatisfied with the final boss.
Say that 10 times fast.
I'm not trying to. I'm not going to.
No, that's a great score. I mean, honestly, mine's not going to be too far off. For the sake of good podcasting, I'm gonna make it a little different. But I will say, I might give this game, out of 100 points, out of 100% of dissatisfaction with the final boss, I'm going to give it an 87.
All right. This one actually beat me on my score this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I've played all of them, all the main ones, including pre-sequel, which is going to get a significantly lower score. But I never played like the Tales of the Borderlands or anything like that yet. But for the sake of this game, the things that make it lose points are, like I said earlier, having to walk everywhere. And now, again, this is for the original Game of the Year edition. This is not for the enhanced edition, because there were a lot of changes made. So for the lack of a decent fast travel system and lack of direction when using it, as well as, just having to walk everywhere. And if you don't have a vehicle, you're kind of screwed. Lack of fast travel points in DLC areas, because sometimes you just want to get to where you want to go,
Yeah.
But that's really it. I mean, the things that give this game points for me are very akin to what you said, like the randomization of weapons. The weapons are fantastic. The gameplay loop is just fun. I enjoy the combat in this game. That's what keeps me coming back. It's satisfying. You never know what kind of weapons you're going to get. You'll never have the same playthrough twice. Your strategies are always going to change. Things are always different. And that's what makes people play multiple times.
Yeah. Pure and simple.
Yeah. And the thing that honestly gives me a couple more points is the nostalgia. I had a great time playing this game as a teenager. It probably has a lot to do with the sense of humor I have today. Which is dark. Very. But yeah, this game to me is almost a 9 out of 10. It loses points mainly for things that were fixed in later games in the franchise. The second game the second game is almost a masterpiece, and we'll get there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just, if you haven't played this game, definitely check it out. You can get through it in a weekend. It's just fun.
Yeah. It really, if you're into FPSs, I would recommend this above almost any other one that I can think of. Like this truly is a very, very good game to just kind of sit. And even me, who doesn't like FPSs, I keep thinking about going back to it and just kind of like grinding through it and seeing if I can get better loot from the final boss.
So anyway, We're past the spoiler cast.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Right. My bad. Whoops.
But all right. Well, with that being said, I think this has been a good episode. I've very much enjoyed talking about this game with you and arguing about what's better, shotguns or SMGs, and
We
we'll
finally
argue,
found out that it's shotguns.
and we will talk about that more off mic. But we'll talk about how SMGs are better. But
you say shotguns with a funny accent, but
yeah, you say SMGs with a funny accent, so it's we'll talk about it more.
it's all right. I bless you, by the way. I heard you sneeze there. It's when you tried to say shotguns.
Anyway, thank you everybody for checking us out and listening to episode 5 of the Bards of Gaming podcast. And if you don't know, I don't know. We're still kind of new to this, and I'm still trying to figure out good ways to end this show. But I will say that you can find us if you're interested on Instagram at The Bards of Gaming, or you can find us on Twitter or X at 2 Bards of Gaming with the number 2. I'm also currently working on building a website for us, so hopefully that helps. Maybe soon we'll have some merch, some stickers, and maybe some t-shirts or something. I don't know. We're working on it, but
I'm gonna put them all over my face.
Oh yeah, we're slowly building. We're expanding our reach, and yeah, you can pretty much listen to us just about anywhere now. I mean, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So,
Rob, we have a podcast.
We do, and I would love to hear from anybody listening. If you have any insight on the games that are coming up or what we've played so far, please feel free to DM us. I'll do my best to respond as soon as possible. I'll probably respond to everybody. It's just, I'd love to hear from you. Both of us would. And
definitely. Like, it's you guys are one of the main reasons we're doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
we've gotten some fantastic feedback, and that's what keeps us going. Really, it's just fun.
Especially those depressing days where there's too many lances to fight and you don't have enough corrosive bullets.
Oh, sad days. But I mean, if you have any insight on the games coming up, I might make an announcement on the social medias. But I think as of right now, where it sits, we have in 2 weeks we're going to be doing an episode on Tony Hawk's Underground, the first one, and then 2 weeks after that, we're going to be doing an episode on Kingdom Hearts 1, where we may or may not have another special guest join us.
Who's the special guest, Rob?
You'll find out in a couple weeks.
Tell me, Rob.
I'll tell you later. But yeah, all right. Anyway, that about wraps it up. So
cool beans. Hey, no one's told you this today. I appreciate you.
Stay hydrated. Later.
Peace out, yo.